next 12 months. So basically, if you take your phone and you have 1,000 contacts, you know how many people will buy within the next year, so probably 100 people will buy, but they might not buy with you or sell with you because they don't know you. They don't know what you are doing. So the activities that we have on the 100 days and 100K to 100 days, it is basically you're going to have to start speaking to these people, to your audience, to your data, to your sphere of influence, to your database. So let's say we have these are simple activities. You're going to have to text 5 people a day with their CMAs. You're going to have to make 5 calls to people that are in one specific area that you want to farm, and you're going to leverage one property that sold on that street. For instance, let's say that 123 Main Street sold for $200,000 this week. So you're going to go on to Title Box, which is a tool that we have for free with FPG title. Gladys can give us access. Any one of you guys can just text Gladys and say, hey, Gladys, please send me my login information for the tool Title Box. And in there, you can retrieve, you can farm, you can pull addresses of specific streets and or neighborhoods or cities or whatever you need. And from there, you're going to start calling these people and say, hey, you are a resident, you're a property owner of this property on 123 Main Street. Did you hear what happened to that city, to that house it sold? So it's going to start like you giving information, and people always want to know what happened to the site of their house, what's going on their neighborhood, how much their home value is. And then it's going to have you send in 2 emails a month to your database, and it's also going to have you send in like creating twice a month social. You're going to find something that is really good, like a hidden gem, we call, like a property that will sell really fast because it has a good price, or a property that will sell fast because it has renovations, or it's like anything that is notable. You're gonna get that, create social media content. So you're gonna go to your TikTok and say, hey, I'm right here in front of 123 Front Street, and this house just hit the market, but you know what? Because of the price that is listed, it's going to sell in no time. So do you want to know what it's been listed for and why is it going to sell so much faster than the other ones? Text me here, contact me here. And then from there, you get that you posted on all your social medias. You're going to send that on an email blast to all your database. So what you're doing is you're going to be getting your database to follow you on the social media as well. You're adding more followers and you are spreading the news. And then people will say, well, why that? Let me know. Let me see what's going on. So these are simple actions that we take for granted. We're like, oh, I'll do it another time. I'll do it when I have time. But let me ask you a question. If it's not now, when?
Yep.
When are you going to do it?
Mhm.
Okay. I always say that about my story. I spent about 10 or more years of my real estate career not doing what I had to do. Just just taking whatever people would send me, like a client would give the other client, and then I would just sit there and wait to be fed. And I was never thriving. The day I was fed up, because I mean, it is hard, people. It is hard not to have leads, but it is also hard to have leads. So what hard do you want? It's hard not to
Have
have
leads.
money to pay bills, right?
Yeah.
Rose, that's what it is. I was fed up of not having what I wanted. And I said, I'm going to have to do something here. So I stopped giving excuses to myself, because at the end of the day, that's what we all do. And we always, I just said that in the morning in our, in that fuel call this morning. Teresa probably was there too. So the moment that we're always trying to hear something from someone, from a guru or from a coach, and we're always like searching on social media what people were saying. When you see that face, you are a real estate agent in Georgia, you have to listen to this because it's going to give you leads. And you're like, oh my gosh, I need to read that. I need to watch this video. But we're always trying to listen to what everybody else is telling us, but there's no silence within us. What was the last time that you stopped everything and you listened to yourself and to your pain and to everything that is not working for you? And maybe I already told you guys about this, but I am good at journaling when I am not feeling well. When there's something that is really bothering me, I write down. And I remember that at that time I started writing down everything that was bothering me, that was making me angry, that was making me sad. And I was like, I have to remove this, has to go out of my life. This has to go out of my life. And slowly I started tackling them off of my life. And the other day I was actually looking at like cleaning my house and I found one book that I was writing, I was journaling about, I don't know, 5 years ago when I went to Laverne and said, Laverne, I need help. I need to grow a team. I need to do something else because I'm so unhappy with what I'm doing. And I was reading everything that I had there, and I had all of that away from me. I don't have any of that anymore. I was so happy, but it took a long time. And sometimes I feel like, I still have to go back on my feet, but that's the secret, people. We have to listen to ourselves and we have to be honest, because if we're not producing what we wanted to be producing, it's on us. It's our fault. It's not anybody else's. So let's take advantages of all these resources that La Rosa has, all these courses, and this 100 days is really something that is nice that we should all take action, do it, because you're going to see how how much of businesses you're going to start getting from your own business. It's like fishing in your own bowl, if you will, because if you start scrolling out on your text messages, I'm sure you're going to find people there that own homes, that spoke to you about real estate at some point. So you can restart these conversations. You can bring these people to your CRM, and they will start receiving your information all the time, because it is impossible for us to speak to everybody who we want to. So like, let's say you, between the beginning of the month until now, we're like day 18. Let's say you spoke to already, I don't know, 40 people. How do you go back to these 40 people? So if you don't have a CRM implemented, if you don't have the CRM set up for each person that you speak to, for them to receive auto emails from you, they will never think of you. They will not remember you. And then whenever they put their house for sale or they go look for another house, they're not going to come to you. So maybe the good thing,
They're gonna go to the agent who actually is doing that.
yes. So basically, this is one thing that I do. Every time that I speak to a client, I always speak to a client either with like a big paper like this where I write things all over, or I have my CRM opened and I go in and I start typing everything that I have with that client, what type of homes they want, what type of properties they would probably like, even if they're not ready. And I open a auto alert for that person. So even if it's like, if this person is like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna buy, I'm just thinking about it. So I'll just put a once a week alert to come from me. First, I send a welcome email. Welcome to my platform. Your access has been, I don't know, you have now access to your personalized database here. So he will go in, log in, and from there on, he will start receiving every week or every month or every, I don't know, if they are really into buying soon, we're gonna have something more tailored. But it is amazing because people sometimes they think of me because they call, oh, you know what? I just received an email of you today and I thought that I really needed to speak to you. And
Yeah,
he texts me.
and that's great. And Daniela, I wanted to ask who here is actually in that signed up for that course? Who here signed up for the course? Went to the first class? Anyone?
I want to sign up.
Okay, so Daniela, if you can put that information in the chat, the link, so that if whoever wants to sign up, guys, it's $25.
Yeah, let me
Yes.
get it here. And I'll ask Laverne to, because we need to, they have, Laverne and Sophia are the ones that are organizing it. So I'll just get the link here, send it to the chat here,
Perfect.
and then you guys can register and they will put you in the group and start. You can
Yes.
read the last class. And
Yeah,
you can
I
start
tried.
tracking at any moment. Maybe your 100 days will start a week from today. That's okay. We all have different days that we're going to start our 100 days, but the important thing is that you register and then you track.
okay, I have Natasha who said I'm registered. Natasha, did you attend the first class? If you can unmute, if you can.
Yes, yes, I attended the first class.
Perfect.
What
And
do, what do
give
you
us,
think? What was
yes,
your
give us some
thought about
feedback.
that?
About the first class.
Yes, the program, everything.
Um, well, obviously for me, myself, reflection was consistency because like how many times have I started to do something and then don't commit to it because I don't see like immediate results. However, leads have come a year and 2 years later, right? So then I think, hey, if I would have done, what I was doing 2 years ago, and I mean, I will keep my pipeline, but I get like unmotivated, demotivated because it didn't happen right away. So, obviously, like when you said, I started texting and it happened like, yeah, like I got a lead, right? So I was like, just because I don't do it every day and I don't make it my job when it is my job, right? I don't say from 9 to 10 and I block and then life happens and you have to do something else at the same time, whatever, right? So obviously is the system works. I am failing to commit to it, right? So this is kind of like me holding myself accountable to finally, follow up.
Well, Natasha, you have a group here that's going to hold you accountable, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
The house, we're gonna hold you accountable. Every week I'm gonna be Natasha, how many calls did you make this week?
Right,
No, but
exactly. So yeah, that's
because I
kind
think
of
that that's really important. And guys, I know that, some of us might have signed up for us. Maybe some of us will sign up now that we have all this information and how great this thing is really gonna work, the system for you. And again, it's only $25. I think you can invest $25. We spend $10 on a Starbucks. I don't, but some of you do. But those are things that, again, it's an investment in your business, right? And you're getting the instructions step by step by step by step on making it happen. You're getting instructions. Like Natasha said, right? It's the lack of systems that we have in place that stops us from moving forward, right? I heard this yesterday, which I thought was really, really key, and it actually spoke to me, right? Because, as a coach, and a mentor, we talk a lot about goals, right? We talk a lot about goals. But if you don't have a system in place to obtain that goal, and what Daniela is teaching is a system to get to that goal, right? But if we just say, oh, I want to make 100K this year, I want to sell 20 houses this year, but we don't have a system in place to get us there, to hold us accountable, to be able to walk step by step and do those things, guess what's going to happen? We're never going to reach that goal, right? And if we do, it's going to be by the seat of our pants, right? We're going to be like, oh my God, so stressed out. So, so much stuff going on. And goals without a system don't work. We have to have a system in place. The other thing that kind of stood out with what Daniela was speaking on was habits. We all have habits. We all have bad habits, right? Guilty. I have bad habits.
All of us, right?
We have bad habits. And now it's reshifting those bad habits, start to eliminate. Like she said, she started journaling and then she started removing those bad habits, those bad things that needed to be out of her life and out of her business to now create new habits. And those new habits have to do a lot with the system that you put in place. And they're offering you a system already made for you. You just need to follow that system in order to reach that goal. So thank you so much, Daniel. I don't know if anybody else wants to share. I know Ye Malis is here.
I am just, my computer is rebooting, but so I haven't put my face there. But I wanted to share because I did attend because I know a lot of my Texas and California people were joining, and I wanted to also hold them accountable for the program. What I liked about the presentation, it is so completely processed into exactly the activity that you get to do. So, I mean, it eliminates any like double guess that you might have about what to do, how to do, where to go. I mean, it was so very easy put into words that a new agent, a seasoned agent, wherever you are in the stage, it is going to make sense to you, and you're going to be able to implement it immediately. So, and that's a big difference when you go to different classes or sessions. Sometimes they just talk like or have certain experience level. This one, what was so well put and so easy to follow, that the task is like, this is the activity, people, it's step 1, 2, and 3, get it done. And then show your results at the end of the week. So very, very good presentation, Daniela. I was very impressed by the class. And I mean, if you haven't joined as an agent, take it to yourself to give that to yourself as a 2025 gift. I mean, how much money you spend in Starbucks, people? How much money you spend in Starbucks? Put that Starbucks money into your business. Is what you get to do. It's as simple as that.
And I think that
Thank you
that's so
so
great.
much, Yamala.
I think that's so great because again, you're creating, you've already, you have the system, right? And I think that's I think where most agents fail, right? You have a coach, or maybe you don't have a coach, but people are telling you, they're giving classes like this, right? We're giving you information. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do this for your business, right? As coaches, mentors, even through this class, right? We're giving you ideas, we're giving you things you can do for your business. This is giving you the system to get it done. So that's why this is so important for everyone to just spend the $25 on, because it's not about you taking a bunch of classes, right? We take a ton of classes. We join a bunch of groups. We do a bunch of things and we get a lot of information. But if we don't have a system in place, like the system that Daniela is giving us, our CRM, right, Lofty, if we don't have a system in place, we're never going to hit those goals that we have. We're never going to get to a place where we want to be, right? That's 100K in 100 days. Imagine if you double it up. That's 200K in 180 days, So,
And what I think is most important about this program, guys, is that this is a roadmap not for 100 days. If you keep it up, or if you keep at least half of that up, it's going to continue coming and coming and coming. Because after 90 days, it's going to become a habit. We have to come up with that. So after that, it's just going to start coming. And you have to be prepared, because once you start prospecting, you're going to have phone calls, and you're going to have time assigned, blocked for your activities after of after your prospecting. So you have to be ready for what's coming, and you cannot stop doing what you're doing, because this is one thing that we all are guilty of. We start prospecting, and then the wave comes and we dropped our marketing, we drop our prospecting. We're like, oh my gosh, I have so many things going on, I don't have time for that. And then when you figure this out, when you close these deals, you're like, oh my gosh, where is my next transaction coming from? This is the mistake we all do. So we have to make this a habit. And Yamales, I am so happy to hear that it was actually great and it was clear, because I wasn't so sure, when I put it together, it was really from everything that I learned, and I picked up the pieces and I was like, okay, so I grabbed as much as of the material that I had to put for all of us. So you guys understand what is included within this. So besides the 3 sessions that we have, and this is, I have shared on my screen here an email that everybody who's participating has received from Sophia after we finished the class. So everybody had received a 100 days booklet, which is a PDF in details with all the templates for you to send on your texts, emails, phone calls, anything you want to do. All the templates are there. You can, of course, please by all means make changes, make it more like to sound like you. I had an agent who called me and was like, "Oh my gosh, it sounds like it's not me talking to these people." I said, "Just put it on your voice." Or ask ChatGPT to make it sound like you or whatever. You can change it. It's just like the base of how to start this conversation. So you're going to get this 100-day workout workbook. So you have everything there, all the steps, everything that is said on the session. It's going to be tracked in there in each section of the book. You're going to have a tracker. And in this tracker here, you're going to be logging every day of your activities, how many people you text, how many you email, how many you call, how many conversations you have out of all these attempts, and how many leads that you get, how many buyers or consultations, sellers, listing presentations you have from that. So after that, we have a WhatsApp group, which we can all talk in there. During the presentation, I mentioned something about one person with Lofty that I watch on YouTube, which is this guy here, and he's amazing. So he puts a lot of easy how-tos for us to take the best advantage of Lofty, because sometimes I think the trainings that Lofty gives is really lengthy and dense, and sometimes I just want to know what I want to know, and so I just type to this guy here. He is amazing. So I learned so much with Lofty with him. And also, I mentioned about FPG title prospecting app for Gladys, because this is where you're going to get the numbers, the phone numbers to call on your daily call for people outside of your sphere. It's like, you got to go somewhere else. So basically, there are lots of resources. And then if you take the time to really do it, even if you start slower and you start implementing, but you're going to see progress. I mean, I'm sure it was amazing for me how, and what was more amazing is that because I had everything within my phone, I didn't have to go outside because I had a big database. If you don't have, we also have on our workbook 10 ways that you can grow your database and make and have these numbers for you to call as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Daniela. The reason we wanted to bring this up today is because I really feel that it's important for us to understand that, again, like I mentioned before, sometimes we have all these classes that we attend, these, even this 6 o'clock where we're, giving you information and we're, trying to guide you and give you resources. But until you have that system in place where now you can implement everything that you're learning, right? Because we can take 100 classes, but if we don't have a client, guess what? We're not doing anything, right? We can't implement anything that we learned because we don't even have a client. So it's having that system in place that's giving you step by step instructions, and it's holding you accountable on what you're doing, right? It's tracking your activity so that you can become successful in what you're doing. Even if you guys, if let's say you don't even make 100K in 100 days, okay? But if you made 20K in 100 days, would that make you feel better than you are feeling right now? I mean, if I made an extra 20K in the next 90 days, I'd be happy, right? So it's about creating that. And even if, the 100K in 100 days is what's possible, it's probably even more possible because Daniela did it, but it's possible. A lot of people are doing it. But even if you don't make that 100K, but you made 20, you made 30, you even made 10, is it not worth the $25 and having that system, right? Because even if you join the class and she gives you the system, and let's say you only call 5 people instead of the 20 that you have to call, or whatever it is, right? But out of those 5 people, you get 1 lead that's going to take you to a closing. That was all worth it. right? So it's about investing in yourself. And I know, Yemalis, you have a lot to say about, because you were there. Share a little bit more, like what's one good tip that you can give everybody here right now that they can implement right now, like before they even join, before they take the next class?
I think the easiest tip that you shared is the whole Zillow value. I mean, who is not curious about what the property is worth? And again, everybody's in Zillow. All your consumers, all your clients are in Zillow. Gather information and data that there's a big margin of error, right? And we all know this, but we don't talk about it. We're not in front of our clients. So guess who is in front of your client? Zillow. So if you use that tool, their tool, and make a statement, the conversation, becomes so easy for you, becomes extremely easy. And the way it was shown in the class and how exactly what you get to do about it was like, it's not going to take you not even 5 minutes. You just select, I don't know, 10 names and just go at it, blah, 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 blah. And you're gonna get done. Somebody's going to get back to you. Somebody's going to get back to you because it is super easy and super intentional.
Yep. There you go. One tip you can start implementing today. Go to Zillow, text your client a true value versus a Zillow value and have that conversation. And I think that, and sorry, Yemalis, you froze up. Am she the only one that's frozen, or am I frozen too? No, just Yemalis. Okay, Yemalis, you're frozen. So in case you hear me, you're just frozen. Okay, so Daniela, what other thing that you can share right now? Obviously, that's Zillow tip, something that you can share that's going to give them a little bit more view. Obviously, you shared, all the resources they're going to get when they join. They're going to be part of a chat. They're going to be held, a little bit of accountability. But are you doing where people can actually I don't know, do you do breakout rooms where people can actually connect and maybe have like accountability partners?
Well, that's what we discussed, like if people want to if they want to have someone to be their accountability partner, that's a great idea. And not only for this, but even for for life, it's always a good idea to have someone that you can discuss your plans with. Um, so in this specific thing, if you are pairing up with someone, it's great because you guys can discuss your, all your challenges. What do you think could make it better? Your outcomes. It's always good to brainstorm about it. So I have, like, even today, I have one friend of mine who's a realtor. He's from another brokerage, but I know him for so many years. Once a month, we go for lunch and we have our accountability meetings. I say, okay, this is what I am going to implement for the next 3 months, and this is what he's going to implement. And then 3 months later, we always review what we discussed 3 months prior to the lunch of that month. And we always see where we're going, if we're missing this out, if plans changed. It's good because, to be honest with you, if I don't read his list, I don't know honestly what he had on his list, but it's good for me on my list because I have to think through it and I come up with insights to myself. And it's the same for him. I bet he doesn't know my list either, but it's a good thing because we sit down and we have to discuss each other's businesses, just someone there listening to you. And it's just like talking to a therapist. Once you talk to them, insights will come and you will have ideas and you will have great outcomes out of these conversations. So it's very, very worth it to have someone who's going to be your accountability partner.
Yeah, and because we just started a small training with some of the leaders from the corporate offices, and one of the things that they discussed was that we have little breakout sessions, and we get to connect with other brokers, team leaders, and see what their ideas are. What are they implementing? So it's the same thing. It's creating that that little accountability person.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I'm struggling with this. I was just talking to my husband about that too. But having that accountability person to just hold you accountable to, sometimes just all you need is, I'm frustrated with this buyer. Oh my God, look at what they did. You know, it's just maybe someone you can vent with that might give you a new perspective on that situation. And now you're like, oh my God, yeah, you know what? Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have tried that. Maybe, you know, it's just having that extra person there that's going to hold you accountable for what you're doing. But to me, you know, and I've learned this late on, to admit, learned this late on, that without a system, nothing happens. It's like when you have a business, right? You have a business, let's say it's a restaurant. You have a restaurant, and now you're going to go, you know, hire the people for the restaurant, right? And you're going to put an ad looking for a chef. That's it. That's all you put on the ad, looking for a chef, right? And now, you know, you get 100 chefs applying, and then you hire one because he said, oh, I can cook everything, right? I can cook everything. And now you hire the chef. And now the chef, you know, doesn't specialize in what your restaurant is about. You know, he doesn't have the same vision. He doesn't have the same goals. He doesn't have the same, you know, nothing. And now you just hired the wrong person because that owner did not have a system on hiring the right chef, right? So it's like everything, and even in our real estate business, if we don't have a system on how we're going to get to the goal, right? The end goal of having whatever that income goal is, whatever your freedom means to you, whatever it is, if you don't have a system in place to get to that goal, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. You're going to, you know, reach a little bit. You're going to reach a little bit, right? You might get some success, but you're never going to get to the goal that you set out until you have a system in place. And that's why I'm, you know, pushing. That's why I wanted Daniela and Yemalis to speak on this today, because I feel that this is a good stepping stone for you to create that system, and not even create it. It's been created for you. And now all you have to do is take action. Take action. Take action. Take action. Do the work, right? Do the work. It's like,
I mean, as a broker, I'm in the system. Like I said, I'm supporting both of my offices. So if you want me to support you as a leader, if you want to script it out, if you want to, you know, make it your own, because again, remember, we're going to share tools, but it has to feel natural to you, right? When you pick up that phone, you have to come through. And if you need to fine tune those conversations, if you need to, they share this idea. However, I know that if I do the idea this way, maybe I get better. And you want to role play it, just, my cell phone is right here. Give me a call. I operate in 3 time zones all my life. So you're welcome to just shoot me a text and we'll get on it.
right.
Because
I just have to.
You know what? I'm going to put it right here in front of you. I am doing it because my intention is to completely pay for the first year of college out of my pocket, not out of my savings for my son. And that's a $42,000 bill that I have, that I am not touching the savings. I am paying it from my commissions this year. So that's my 100%, 100 days. So you hold me accountable for that, and I hold you accountable for that.
Oh man, amen, amen. And you know what? And I just want to congratulate Sharnika, who just registered.
Yes, I did.
Awesome, awesome. And again, it's something that we have to do to grow our business. It's just that. And guys, it can't get any easier than having it there all done for you. And all you have to do is take action, because again, I think that I've taken a lot of continuing education, a lot of continuing education, a lot of classes, a lot of how to do this, how to do that, how to do that. But you know what wasn't included in a lot of those trainings? A guide. Teresa, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And by this time, and this is how you do it. No, it's a, training that tells you, hey, if you want to get more listings, make some phone calls, right? It doesn't tell you, okay, if you want to get more listings, you have to make these phone calls, but this is how you're going to make the phone call. This is how you're going to track that. This is how you're going to, it didn't have a system in place. And I think that that's what we're lacking. So thank you so much, Daniela, for sharing that, because I think that that is super important for us to have a system in place.
Yeah, and you can always print your 100-day, like for instance, I have my thing here of everything that I have to do. So I have it printed. So I kind of highlight, put stickers, do all kinds of things. So it reminds me, it's right here on my desk. So I know every day what I have to tackle. I really, really love the PDF idea. When we were creating, we would only have the sessions. But then I said, you know what, guys, we really need to put a PDF with everything in there so they can just go back. And because that happens to me too, we go to all these 1 million classes that we take all the time, and we take notes, and then we don't even know where to go back for the notes. So now at least you can print this out and have it with you all the time.
Yeah. And I recommend get a binder, right? If you have it, get a little binder so you can put them in a nice binder and it's always on your desk.
And you can always copy and paste from the PDF into your chat GPT for the scripts, and then it creates one with your own voice.
There you go. See, you're getting instructions, step-by-step instructions.
Yeah.
Can't get any better than that.
No, I just put the link in the chat again.
Perfect, perfect. So the link is there if you guys want to register, $25. Rose said Rose is going to register. I know Rose is registering, that's for sure. All right, Vicky, go ahead.
I know that Daniela made a comment about talking a little bit about listing today. I know it's a quarter to the hour. I mean, a quarter before the hour is over. I want to know if we're going to do that, or are we going to leave that for the next session?
We can probably.
Please unmute if you have any questions. If you are like, I don't know, again, I know that Natasha was in the class, and I think Isabel was also in the class on Monday, but if you were in the class and you took it upon yourself to actually do one of the activities, and you're uncertain about whether it was the right tackle, the right thing, or what happened, or what maybe holds you back that you didn't really follow through, just unmute and use this space to ask for that support, because that's what we're here for. This is your time.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, we can actually go on the listing presentation. We can go an entire session. Like I have a presentation on how to dominate your listing presentation. It's less about the presentation itself and more about how to behave, how to catch the seller's attention, how to have them listening to you and not wanting to be, getting answers that are not really necessary. So you don't discuss things that you don't have to discuss before it's time to discuss and all that. So yes, we can go over that. I can, and after, if anyone, after the questions, I can also show some parts of my listing presentation, which is something very simple. I make it so simple. I don't even focus on the listing presentation when I go to a listing presentation. I just have it there in case I have to show a little bit about my marketing. That's all. Other than that, it's just like, conversation. Yes.
Yeah. And I think that that's really important for us to know what we had the listing class last week, or part 1 of the listing class. And we were just talking about things that they should have at a listing presentation, right? What should you have at a listing presentation? So that you're not going back and forth. And, a little bit about the conversation, the initial conversation when you're scheduling that appointment, what you should be asking. And, we had that class last week, so you can go back to the YouTube channel and watch that. But for the next class, we wanted to talk more about the actual appointment, right? So it was part 1 was just what's the pre-conversation that you're having with your listing person, whoever's going to list the property. What's the conversation at the initial phone call before you walk through those doors, and what you should have when you walk through those doors. And then, so Daniela, if you want to teach part 2 of the actual appointment when you're sitting, at the table, right? Our table presentation, we can do that. So that way Daniela can give her table presentation with her, and maybe we can do a little role play or something of that nature, because I think that again, we can tell people a lot of things, but I think that when we role play and they hear, the possible conversation and how that should be going, then I think it kind of, you can internalize it a little bit more than just speaking on a presentation and giving us, this is what I normally say. No, sometimes doing that role play, we can internalize it. So maybe we'll do a little role playing as to what that conversation should be when you're at the table doing your presentation. Okay, so Liliana has a question. When is the program starting? So the program already started. They did session 1. It was recorded. So if you join now, you're still in time to join. Get on session 2 and go back to watch session 1 so you can start, doing session 1. Okay.
Yeah, session 2 will be only September 15th. So you have plenty of time to, to watch it. After you register, you will receive the video, and then from there on, you can watch it.
Yes, and Shanika, you asked about the YouTube.
The
I think,
listing, you said the listing. I didn't know about the listing
oh yeah, because
presentation.
you weren't on it last week. So
Yes.
yes, it's on my YouTube channel, the first part 1. So watch
Okay.
that, and then when Daniela does part 2, then you guys will be ready to go.
Okay.
All right, and then Rose said she already registered, so congratulations, Rose. Liliana, I'm hoping that you're registering because you're asking, and Shanika registered, and I think Mr. Shaw said he was going to register. So I want, if you can do a reaction in the chat, or that little heart reaction thing on your phone or on your tablet, and put some hearts in there so we know who registered. Because I want to see, that you guys are actually, taking the time. So put a little heart here. I'll be the first one. Some hearts. Ooh, some hearts. Give some love. And all right, Noemi, all right, Vicky, perfecto. Noemi, thank you. I'm so happy that you're doing that. I think that that's going to be very beneficial. So that's perfect. That's perfect. I love to hear that. So anybody have any questions? Like Yemali said, any questions that you still feel have not been answered, anything that you need help with? Remember, this is not, we keep saying this, and I just want to grind it in. This is not us just teaching you a class or giving you some motivation. And no, we're here to support. We're here to guide. We're here to answer your questions. We have 4 great leaders. I'm going to include myself in there. 4 great leaders, Yemalis, Carmen, Daniela, who are here to support you in whatever you need. Even if you put it in the chat or you have a question right now, just ask away. No, remember, guys, that no question is a stupid question. Okay, because if it's more stupid for you to walk away with not having an answer than asking the question. Okay, so ask away. We're open. We're ears. We want to help you. We want to support you. Noemi, are you writing somewhere? What is that?
Noemi's playing with Zoom application.
You're playing with Zoom, Noemi? Let me see if I can exit out of there. Okay. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, if not, we can end a little early. I know we didn't go through our normal protocol of inspiration and market updates, but hey, we'll catch up on that next week. We just wanted to make sure that we shared this amazing resource that you guys have to, again, take yourselves to the next level. Hold yourselves accountable, have a system in place that's going to walk you step by step. Mr. Shaw, who's I think is still here, somewhere, maybe not, maybe he had to leave. But Mr. Shaw is one that, I've been coaching him a little bit and mentoring him. And just a little thing that I told him, call your past clients, call them. Follow up, buyers, sellers, whatever. Just with him following up in his past clients, he got 4 leads, okay? 2 sellers, 2 buyers. just from that just calling his past clients. He spent one day doing phone calls and he got 4 leads from those phone calls. So phone calls work, following up works. We just have to create the action. And now we have a system to do so. Okay. So
The other thing is that, you're welcome to take the rest of the time that we have left to unmute yourself. If you have a transaction that you would like to share, discuss, if you had a conversation with a lead that you are not sure how to, address it, if you are working on perhaps a campaign and you would like feedback on that, this is your forum. Take advantage of it. Go ahead and talk about whatever you need before the hour is over. So we're here. We're here to support you. The other thing that I've been doing, and I've been telling all my agents in both states to do, is that reach out to your sphere and let them know that you as an agent can get them properties or opportunities in all the states, including Spain and Puerto Rico, that La Rosa is in. That right there is a very great, easy to have conversation. You're not asking for the business. You're letting them know the great news that guess what? My book, my world for real estate just opened for you. If you have any needs, any family member has any needs in all these territories, I'm your girl. Call me and I'll hook you up. You can reach out. And that right there is just going to start a whole conversation with your client, non-invasive. You're going to go ahead and talk about whether they want to sell or who or what. And it's just a very beautiful, easy way to pick up that phone or send a little text with somebody that you haven't talked in a while and let them know about the good news.
yeah,
I can do this for you.
right. And I love either text but if you have to pick up the phone.
The phone, absolutely.
I get a ton of text messages, right? And sometimes, I'll read the message. I'll read the message. It's not like I'm avoiding them. I'm reading it, but maybe in that moment, I don't have time to return that text message or, I'm in the middle of something. And then, if that happens with everybody, right? So if you send a text message and they don't get back to you, it's probably not because they don't want to talk to you. It's probably because they just forgot you text messaged them. They read it and then they forgot about you. So that phone call is super, super, because even if you send them a text message, you can follow up with a phone call if they don't respond saying, hey, Teresa, I sent you this text message yesterday and I didn't get a response. I got a little worried, is everything cool, and start a conversation, right? So, but the phone, an actual phone call goes a long way, right? And I know that cold calling is not everybody's favorite. I'm sure there's not a lot of people here, maybe a few, that like cold calling, that are okay making phone calls to cold leads. But if you have a warm database, you have a bunch of people on your phone, like actually, who wants to share how many contacts they have on their phone? If somebody can share how many contacts they have on their phone, you can put it in the chat or you can unmute. And guys, in case you're wondering, there's a lot of questions whether those classes will be recorded. They will be recorded, but you have to pay obviously for the training in order to get access to those recordings. So if you work full time and maybe you can't make it at the time of the session, you can still pay for it and get the recordings and all the resources that you can, follow up with. But that's, if you work, but if you don't and you can attend, obviously in person is always better because you can ask questions. But again, she's going to give you access to the chat. So if you have questions, you can write them in the chat. All right. So Vicky has 1,998 people on her phone. 1998. Okay. Rose has 844. Daniela, how many leads can they get from that 844 if they just picked up the phone?
Well, it depends on quality of the leads and everything, but let me tell you, you can probably talk to at least, you will be able to talk to at least 30% of that, because considering that maybe some of these listings are not good and stuff. But let me tell you, 6 to 10% of all these people will be doing a real estate transaction within the next year. You just don't know who they are. So you have, besides the fact that you have to contact them, you also have to be
Follow up.
strong on your social media. So they, whenever they look for you and whenever you start contacting them and they start receiving your content that you're going to be generating on a 100 case for 100 days, they're going to see you. They're going to say, oh my gosh, yeah, she is an authority. He is an authority. He knows what he's talking about. So this is so important. So don't take that for granted. Go deep into your database. You're going to be amazed of how many people are going to be willing to talk to you.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I agree. And imagine, Vicky, out of those 1,900 agents or 1,900 contacts that you have, let's say maybe half of that, even half of that are possible leads that are going to buy real estate in the next year. Imagine if you're the person they work with. They call. They already have you, obviously you have them in your phone. You've made some contact with them, right? You know, call your sphere. These are the people that like you, that trust you, that are willing to do business with you. Those are like your warm leads. Those are the people that already know you, that you have a relationship with, that they know your character, that you know will be willing to either work with you or refer someone to you. Right? So don't discard anyone. You know, even if on that phone list, your hairdresser is in there and you go to your hairdresser once every 4 months, it doesn't matter. Call your hairdresser. Hey, I'm not scheduling an appointment, but oh my God, like, you know, come on. Even that, because sometimes if you're trying to talk real estate while they're doing your hair, yeah, it might be a conversation. But if you only see them every 4 months or every 5 months, that's a conversation you're only having every 4 months. But if you have them in a database, if you have them in a CRM, and like Daniela says, you're constantly in their face, right? Sending them this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Emails, whatever it is, but you're constantly in their face. When they think about real estate, they're gonna think of you. They're not gonna think of the other 6 realtors that they have in their sphere, right? And their little clients that they have, because those 6 realtors are not sending them anything, but you are.
And
You
the
are.
beauty of the CRM is that whenever you send them the email, you have a way to know whether they open the email or not. So that's the one thing that you're going to learn on the 100K in 100 days is that you're going to send the emails and then you're going to take the ones that read the emails and then you're going to contact them and discuss the content of the email and see what they thought about it. And so this is a good thing. The CRM will show you what leads are really interested in what you're sending them.
Correct. And not only that, even if they didn't open your email, that's a perfect excuse for you to call them. Hey, Teresa, I sent you this email, you know, last week. I don't know if you got it in your inbox or maybe it's going to spam, but it had some great information that I thought you would absolutely love. You know, can you look at your email real quick? It's coming from XYZ, to make sure that you get it, because I want to verify that we have your right email address. Right? Now they're gonna look, oh yeah, I did, Daniela, and I didn't get a chance to open it, you know, but I'll look at it tonight. I'll make sure I look at it tonight. Okay, perfect. I'll give you a call tomorrow to see, you know, what you thought. Right? So it's an easy conversation, right? Okay, Rhonda, 1,438, but half of them are from Georgia. Who cares? Call them. Guess what? You can refer them.
The Rosa Realty Georgia has 2 offices.
We have Georgia agents here.
Yeah, La Rosa Realty Georgia has 2 offices. Girl, 24%, 30% is better than that.
0%, correct. So you can make your 100K just on referrals, girl.
Yeah.
So again, you know, it doesn't matter if you are in Florida or Georgia or Texas, but you came from a different market and half of your database is from a different market, who cares? Call them. They know you, they trust you, they like you. Guess who they're gonna want a recommendation from? From you. So now you can refer them. Now you can build a referral business. Chernika, 1,300. There you go. So we have so many contacts in our phone that we're not call that's your database right there. If you just put all those people in your Lofty, in your CRM and start sending them little touches, even if it's a hey, just passing by to say hi, hope everything's well. Something is better than nothing. And you can start a conversation that's going to give you results. But
Look
if
at
you
this.
don't start those conversations, no results.
This is my Lofty giving me notices that all these people on my database are interested in listings. This is what they've been doing. So Danielle, there's a high opportunity here because this person wants to view the listing. So like today, really, I got a message saying, hey, this person here already saved 3 listings, or she visited so many times this specific listing. So I called her. And she's like, oh, you know what? I actually just bought a flight ticket. I'm going to Orlando at the end of September because we're going to be looking at houses. So no, I know she's ready to buy. But because she is receiving things from me all the time, and your CRM, our Lofty, it is AI oriented. So whatever the behavior of your lead or of your sphere of influence prospect is, the system will keep on feeding more and more and more and more. This way, they will never be receiving things that they really don't want to see. So they think that you know really what you're doing and sending them, appropriate listings. So this is a great tool, people. Don't take it for granted. For
Yes, and
CRMs,
guys, it's only $15 a month, $14.99. Now, please do not go to lofty.com. Don't do that because you're not going to get the special pricing that La Rosa has for the agents. You're going to go to my agent account, look under tools, look for Lofty, and from there, you purchase and you sign up for Lofty so that you can get the special pricing. If you go to lofty.com, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. We get a special pricing for $14.99 a month.
Teresa, do we still have the 30 days for free with the code in my
Yeah,
agent?
I
I
think
want
that,
to say we do.
yeah, you have 30 days to try it. But
Yeah.
you know what, guys? I don't think that 30 days is going to give you, it's on a month to month anyway. You can cancel at
Sure.
any time. But I don't think that if you give it 30 days, it's going to give you results. I mean, it might give you a little result, but you're not going to be able to do everything and be able to get it going and really
Yeah.
start seeing the results in 30 days. You have to give it at least 90 days to 180 days for you to start seeing results and in you inputting data, putting people on campaigns, doing all the things that you need to do to do that. You need at least 180 days to really see results. So even though they give you a 30-day free trial, that's, to me, that's not enough. Again, it's month to month. You're not committed to it. You're not married to it. So if after 3 or 4 months, you're like, oh yeah, this is just not working for me, or you're just not doing anything in it and you want to cancel, then, that's totally up to you. But again, you have to give it at least, it's part of your business. It's part of your business.
Absolutely.
It's like going to a doctor or a dentist that doesn't have a data or a list of patients, right? That now they can go and look at their chart to see what you're suffering from, right? If you go to a doctor and your doctor doesn't keep a CRM, which is the database with your chart, your information, what medications you take, if you're not going to want to go to that doctor, first of all. But it's like that. It's like having a practice, right? A dental practice or a doctor with not having any charts or any system in place to tell you what's wrong with you, that to know what's going on with you. So a CRM is very important to real estate agents. That database is your lifeline. It is your database. When you guys decide to retire from real estate, Okay, which I hope you do. If you're smart, you're on the revenue share program and you're creating passive income so that you can retire early. But if you're going to retire, do you not want to sell your business? I mean, you're building a business. This is not a career change. This is a business. Do you not want to sell your business like any other business owner at the end of your career? Guess what you're going to sell? Your database, your buyers, your sellers, your database is what you sell. So at the end of my business, am going to be able to sell my real estate business to an agent who might be starting off and they don't want to have to start from scratch. And I'm going to be able to say, look, you don't have to start from scratch. I have, 3,000 people, 5,000 people, $10,000 people in my database that you can market to, and we can make a smooth transition. I'll introduce you to all of them through Lofty. So, think about this as a business. This is not a career change. You have to run it like a business. You have to run it like a business. You want to be successful. You want that freedom. You want that being able to do the things you want to be able, if you have a full-time job, to leave that full-time job and just concentrate on something you really want to do. That's the only way that that's going to happen. Set your systems, like Daniela said, the systems that they're giving you on the training, and then implement those systems into your business so that at the end of this road, you can sell your business to someone else. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so I just want to look at the questions. Okay, there. The best CRM is the code to use when you're signing up for Lofty to get that 30-day free trial. Okay, so the first 30 days you don't get charged. Thank you so much, Vicky, for that information. All right, guys. So if nothing else, it's already past 7. I want to make sure that we respect your time. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for everyone who came in on time. But even if you didn't, I hope that you got a lot out of it, and that Daniela will see you at the 100K in 100 days workshop. And then maybe next week we can discuss a little bit of what you guys actually know after the 15th, whatever class we have after the 15th, maybe we'll discuss, what you guys took out of it, see if you guys had any results, any success stories. We want to share success stories. And that's it. Thank you so much.
But remember, every Monday, we want to also include a little bit of the summary of your activities if you are doing the challenge, right? Because we want to be your accountability partner. So if you're taking upon yourself to do the activities and you're stuck or you're seeing results or something, let's feed each other with that energy, with whatever it is that you're doing that is working, so we can all get motivated. And then, of course, we're going to go ahead and continue with the education. So next Monday is going to be the second class for listing, correct?
Yes.
So we're doing perfect.
Daniela, can you do, first of all, let me just confirm with Daniela. Can you do next Monday, Daniela?
I probably don't, because I'm going to be boarding my daughter at school. So I probably will only be able to do it after the 15th of.
Oh, okay, perfect. No problem.
We'll do it after the 15th. We'll just touch on something else next week.
Perfect.
Okay.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.